All right, we are live, and we are live from my kitchen. And the reason we're live from my kitchen is because there are two sinks in this house, one in the kitchen, one in the bathroom. There's no counter in the bathroom. So if we're going to develop film and we're going to be near a sink, we're going to do it in the kitchen. Now, I have already loaded my tank, because I don't think anyone needs to see a half hour of with a bag over my hands. Kind of boring. Been done before. But anyways, what we got here is I have got quite the supply of Dogfish Head beer. And I guess the question is how much of this stuff am I going to get to drink? The answer is not much, because I keep using it to develop film. So far, I've only done this once, I believe. Once? Yes, once. That's right, that one roll, because then my second roll of Tri-X that I exposed, I did a Caffeinol, because the Caffeinol came out with a more higher contrast image, and I wanted that roll to come out better. But I am now moved on to Tri-X roll I have bought specifically for beer drinking movies, because we're going to develop it with beer. And I don't know how much beer drinking there is in this movie, but anyways, I have finally exposed another roll of Tri-X for the Dogfish Head beer. Now, how much of this beer do I have? I got 12 cans. How many cans does it take to develop a roll? It takes 3 cans. Now, the instructions that Dogfish Head and Kodak gave involve using like under 2 cans, like 1.5-ish cans. But they also talk about setting up buckets in a dark room and hand agitating things in the bucket. Now, I've been using tanks. The first roll I did with the Dogfish Head, I used this Patterson tank here and just had it all loose in there. And that worked pretty good, but I've since acquired a Lomo tank, so we're going to use the Lomo tank. But I put a little test strip at the end in here, because I exposed this reel with a rather low light situation. I found that one of the rolls of Tri-X I did, that I did a Caffeinol development with, that I shot it indoors, and at the end of the reel, my bulb for my camera light popped. So I finished the roll indoors with no camera light, and it still came out really good. So I'm like, oh, this is a good, low light film. So I figured I'll take this roll down the shore, where we're gonna go have like a celebration, a party, birthday presents for cousins and whatnot. And then afterwards, we're going to probably be hanging out, playing some drunk Yahtzee and drinking and stuff like that. And we'll see how well a roll comes out without using a camera light in mostly indoor situations. And I got really nervous, because I've used this one on the camera that has a working light sensor. And the whole time, the light sensor was telling me, you ain't got enough light. So I'm like, oh no, is this really going to work? Is anything really going to come out? And I had about 5 feet left at the end of the roll when I came home. So I set the lights in here to a situation where it was still telling me low light in the camera, but there was some light, and I shot a nice shot of the cat at the top of the stairs for 5 feet. And so I have like junk film at the end, filmed low light to test with. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an extra 2 minutes to the process, because it's a slow I think it's a 15-minute development. So I'm thinking I'll do like a 16 or 17-minute development on my test strip in the Patterson tank. See how that comes out, and if that's like too much developing time, I think it gets lighter the more you develop. I'm pretty sure. I could Google that again. Actually, I got to pull up my instructions. I hit go live before I even pulled up my instructions. And I need to put my instructions down a note card. So I'll Google that just to verify that. So if that comes out too late, then we'll just go back down to 15. But we're going to do a test run on this test strip. I don't have a good dark room that I could do a multi-stage test strip to test 3 different times. So I'm just going to go with my best guess time for the test strip, see what I get on that, and then use that to kind of decide what I want to do here. So it's probably going to be a late into the night live stream. Could be boring, could be lots of quiet. But the other thing I'm going to do is expose another roll of Tri-X. And so I've got my working Super 8 camera on a tripod with the camera light on it, with a really long extension cord to the camera light, that is. And I got my little pull cord. Problem is that the camera needs to be all the way on the other side of the kitchen to get a good wide angle to get me working in the kitchen. So I'm still going to have to run back and forth to stop and start the camera, because they don't make those cords very long. But my goal is to make a little 3-minute, 20-second movie on developing film using Dogfish Head beer, and then develop that movie using Dogfish Head beer, and then editing this all together. Heck, I could even sync up the sound possibly at parts. I don't know. We'll see how this all goes. I might run out of film partway into this. It might just be a 3-minute film of me pouring beers into a pitcher, which would be a good film to develop in beer. So, but we're not going to develop this one tonight. I don't know. Could I use the same batch of film, a batch of fluid, to develop 2 rolls back to back? Generally, Cathinol developing is supposed to be a one-shot deal. I think I have used Cathinol developer. No, I did a test strip and then the next day used it. But that was also Cathinol. That was a bit different from this. Dune goes, now you're just showing off. No, showing off is showing things going right. I'm setting myself up for failure, dude, is what I'm doing. I'm showing off. Trying to do. This is like that time I tried to do internet radio where I DJ'd a turntable and played video games and told stories at the same time. It turned into watching me quietly play video games while playing whole records the whole night. Which was one of my most boring streams of all time. So, anyways, what I need to do is I need to get. Well, I guess the first thing I can do is an establishing shot of the equipment that you need to develop the film. So I'm going to go get the camera off the tripod. Oh, also, I found the most awesome repair guy today. I figured out why my clothes have been stinky lately. It turns out my washing machine hasn't been agitating. And as a result, for the past month, I've just been having clothes sit in detergent water, drain, spin, sit in rinse water, drain, spin. And I'm like, I switched detergents. I tried running second rinse. I tried running it with deeper water. I tried buying nicer smelling fabric softener sheets. And I'm like, why do my clothes stink? And today I'm in the basement while the washing machine goes to its agitation mode. And I just hear click, 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 click. And I'm like, motherfucker. And so I Googled a repair guy. I submit a request for a quote. Guy gets on the phone and he's, first thing I did before I Googled a repair guy was I Googled how to fix a washing machine. And it showed me how to fix the problem I don't have that's really easy to fix. And I Googled, well, what if it's not that? And Google said, what if it's not what? I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. here's some more clips on how to change the part that's not broken. And here's a forum thread about how to change that same part that's not broken. Mind you, if it was that part that were broken, it'd only be $30 and Amazon could deliver it same day. But that's not the part that's broken. So that does me no good. So finally I give up on trying to find a DIY, and I'm like, oh, motherfucker, now I'm going to have to pay a repairman to not fix my washer, the same as I paid a repairman to not fix my refrigerator. So I put in a quote request. My phone rings, and the guy goes, well, I read all the things you did, and I'm explaining to him, well, this and that, and this doesn't turn, but this turns, and when this turns, and that doesn't. And he goes, okay, sometimes the thing slips off. You got to tip the washing machine over. There's 2 screws. You're going to have to take the cover off, and you got to find the thing that it would, if it slipped out, and put it back in. And I'm like, what slipped out? I don't. Okay, all right. Hey, what do you think about my fridge problem? Well, sounds like the previous repair guy put in a bad thermistor because it ain't the control board. Oh, I should try a new thermistor on that. Thanks. Let me tell you what, when this all goes wrong, I'll call you back. How much is it going to cost you to come out here? It's like $90, but let me know. Okay. Go in the basement. Tip the washing machine on its back. Look underneath, take out the 2 screws, take the cover off, and I see a motor, I see a belt, I see a belt wrapping around the big white thing. Nothing slipped off. I'm like, I don't know everything looks fine here. So I call the guy up, leave him a voicemail. I'm like, well, I tipped the washing machine over, took the cover off, belt's there, everything's turning freely. I'm thinking you're gonna have to come out here. Guy calls me back. He goes, well, you're really close. You see that little thing behind the big thing that the belt's? Okay, yeah. There's some parts, and all of a sudden I see this loop with a hole and this thing with a peg that is not in the hole, and that can very easily be put in the hole. And I'm like, oh my God. And he goes, there you go, you're all set. And I'm like, I feel like I just ripped you off. Is there anything I can do for you? And he goes, no, I'm glad to help. Have a great weekend. So that is the best stab repairman I have ever spoken to. And he got not a dime out of me, but I tell you, as soon as something breaks, I know who's on my speed dial to come over here. And hopefully one of these times I'll actually get to give him some money. But things I thought I'd never say. And Mod Pro's in that house. Yo! So what we're going to do is, before I step away to make my little cheat sheet for a few minutes, and you and Dune can talk back and forth while I make my cheat sheet. Like I said, we are going to do a live stream of developing Tri-X black and white Super 8 film as a negative using Dogfish Head Super 8 beer. It's a prickly pear flavored. It's red. It's kind of a fruity flavored. It's kind of an okay beer. It's kind of an okay developer fluid. But you can't develop beer and drink it, because in order to develop beer and drink, you can't develop film and drink it, because in order to make it a film developer, you got to add a bunch of vitamin C and either baking soda or washing soda. The directions that are provided call for baking soda, but typically a caffeinol developer calls for washing soda, and I've seen other people online replace the baking soda with washing soda. I did it with baking soda last time to follow the strict instructions. But this time I'm going to do it with washing soda and see what difference that makes. Other people have done that and it's still come out, so it shouldn't make a big deal. But like I said, I'm going to shoot a movie of this process using another roll of Tri-X, and then at a later date I'm going to develop this roll with some Dogfish Head beer. And before I went off into my repair story, I was debating whether or not I could get away with using this fluid a second time by saving it in the bottle after one developing. And typically, because that's the thing, I got 12 of these beers, and it's like, well, how many rolls of film do I want to get out of this? Because I've got enough cans for 3 more rolls after this, or 4 rolls. So this one, and 2 more there in the fridge. However, I have calculated that this tank will hold 2 rolls at the same time. So if I expose this roll and hold on to it and expose another roll and do those 2 at the same time, I only need 1.5 liters of developing fluid as opposed to 1 liter per roll, which means I would get 2 rolls done with 1.5 liters of beer rather than 2 liters of beer. And that would leave me a few leftover cans to drink and make movies of us drinking. Because they don't sell this stuff anymore. They absolutely don't. Once I use this up, I'm done with this particular developing style. Now, I think other people have used other beers to develop film, but that's not something I've ever researched a whole lot on. I've basically done calf and all. Anyways, we're going to try to make a movie of the highlights of this process so that I could make a movie about how to, a 3-minute silent movie on how to develop film with beer and then develop that film with beer. And yes, Dune, you're absolutely right. Johnny is soaking film in beer. So, okay, so we're going to load our new roll of Tri-X into the camera. And so what I've got here is I've got the empty cartridge from our Tri-X, and we've got a hub we're going to put it on, 3 cans of Dogfish Head. Put 2 of these side by side with the cans facing both sides here. A beer glass for the extra beer, washing soda, vitamin C, our loaded Lomo tank, a pitcher, a little scale to weigh out our washing soda and vitamin C, thermometer, photo flow, and fixer. And so I'm going to get an establishing shot to start this movie of going across all our items of what you need to do this. All right, so first we got to blind everyone. There we go. And I need to set my focus a little closer here for this shot because this shot's going to be shot pretty close. So we'll do that. And all right, we'll start our shot there. So here we go. So in order to do this, you need a cartridge of Tri-X film and a hub to put it on, 3 cans of Dogfish Head beer, a glass for the extra, washing soda, vitamin C, a loaded tank with your film in it, a pitcher, scale, and those other things over there. Which doesn't matter because this is a silent film. We'll sync the sound up in post. Dune writes in, holy light. Yeah. So now, like I said, I need to get my instructions. Let me put this back on the tripod. All right. Camera is on the tripod. We'll have to adjust that later. Put that there. Leave that for a while. Okay. Dune writes in, oh my gosh, you mean your dad used to shine that in your face? Well, I think we got Sunday's topic. Would you like to see movies of me turning away from the light? I got that. You know those things that babies jump up and down in that you hang from the door frame? We got a great 2-minute movie of me jumping around like this. And then the camera stops and they face me again and then I jump around like this. Great fun for everyone, except for my dad just trying to get a movie of my smiling face by putting a big train headlight in it. Yes. Anyways, I am going to take a quick run up the stairs, grab a little IBM punch card, and jot down the correct measurements and timings to develop this film onto my cheat sheet, because there's a PDF document I have, and rather than keep coming over to my computer and pulling up the PDF document, I'd rather just have a cheat sheet in front of me. So I got to make my cheat sheet, which I meant to do before this, but I got wrapped up in fixing the washing machine. Anyways, I'll be right back. And we're back with my cheat sheet. And my pro is laughing and sticking her tongue out. Thank you, thank you. All right, so basically we gotta mix up 1 liter of beer. Actually, and that's the thing about these instructions. These instructions say 90 degrees, but the instructions are to heat it up to 90 degrees and then mix this up. So are the instructions accounting for the loss of heat that's going to happen in that time, or do the instructions want me to actually develop at 90 degrees? I think that the developing temperature is supposed to be lower, but then again, lower temperatures mean longer developing time, and this film has been shot in low light, so we want to extend our developing time. So I think we're going to shoot for 90 degrees. So one thing I need to do is fill one of my sinks up with hot water so that I can, because the instructions are kind of like put the beer in a pot on the stove and heat it up to 90 degrees. You can just submerge your pitcher or your bottle, whatever you have it in hot water in the sink and warm it up that way. Because my water comes out pretty damn hot. This ain't a house for kids, because the water comes out the same heat that it goes through the pipes to warm the house. There's no mixing cold water to get less hot water right out the faucet. So this comes out. This water comes out of the faucet at 135 degrees. That's normal, right? Sure it is. In the house that Gators bought, yes, that's absolutely normal. So I got a 135 degree bath to heat up a pitcher of liquid to 90 degrees. No problem. All right, so I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a shot of me pouring the cans of beer into the pitcher. Then we'll get a shot of me pouring the leftover beer into the glass, toasting and taking a drink. And then Do we need to get a shot of me warming it up in the sink? I have to change camera angles for that. I guess we could get a shot of me putting the pitcher in the sink, dipping the thermometer in. The thing is, I really wish I had a way to start and stop these already in frame, because basically you got to get a shot of me running into frame, doing the action, running out of frame. I guess I could edit that in post, but then that's less film for me to use. But that's the best I could do, unless I get a cameraman over here. But I got to refocus my camera. All right, let's set this camera up here. Okay. All right, so let's move this off to the side. Move these things to the side. Wow. Oof. Yeah. So that's what I got to deal with. All right. So we're going to do an establishing shot of emptying the beers into the pitcher and then pouring what's left over into the glass. Toast, take a drink. Well, that didn't work. There we go. I thought this beer was red last time I drank it. All right, we got to cut the film while that foam's down. We'll have to do the leftover in a glass as a separate shot. Okay, but we got that's a lot of head. That's an awful... I did not pour that right. I probably should have poured it like a beer instead of pouring it like developer fluid. Damn. I hope that head gives me back some fluid, because I only got half a liter out of those 2 cans. I'm supposed to get more than half a... Well, that's a lot of head. We got to let the bubbles settle down and then top it off with the 3rd can to get our liter. I really thought that beer was supposed to be red. I better Google that. This beer is this beer is from pre-COVID. So that's how old this beer is. I really thought it was red. Let's see if I can find a picture of it in a glass. Yes, it is absolutely supposed to be red. Oh man, I don't even know if this is going to work. I think it's still citrusy. I think it'll still have the properties of, but yeah, that is supposed to be red. And that is very orangey, kind of a golden orangish kind of color. And I know that don't look very orange on the camera, and you probably think I'm just fucking with you, but I'm not. I mean, it doesn't smell bad. It smells like, kind of a... Well, what is prickly pear even supposed to smell like? It smells like a beer. It smells like a fruity beer. And the lines are going up there. So yeah, we gotta give that time to settle down, and then we'll pour the third can a little more carefully, and then we'll heat that up to 90 degrees. Actually, we could start warming that up now. So we'll just go ahead and put that in the hot water bath. Of course, this pitcher wants to float and tip over. So I'm trying to wedge it underneath the faucet to try and get that to hold it submerged. Well, we'll just hold it with my hand. So yeah, this is going to be a slow, boring stream. The 3-minute black and white movie is probably going to be way more entertaining than this. But like I said, I'll probably I'll have to post that. Someday I'll develop that. Either I'll develop that later this weekend, or I'll develop that after I expose another roll. Which, when I come back from my Disney trip, Gothard's going to be down here. We're going to hang out. We'll probably drink some beers. I'll probably shoot some film, and then we'll probably be able to develop 2 rolls with 1.5 liters. And I think I'll call that good at that point. And I'll have one more roll of Tri-X, and I'll just be like, whatever. I'll just develop that with actual developing fluid. Because I think it'd be nice to... I don't know. I was going to drink this beer and take movies of drinking this beer with my friends and then develop it with this beer. But this beer is not the right color anymore. So I don't know if I actually want to pour one of these for my friend. Heating it up has really helped the bubbles go down, though. So we're looking much better here. We've got about 700 milliliters out of those 2 beers. So most of the third can will get us to where we need to be, with a little bit to drink and toast the camera with. So I'm going to pour this like a beer. And let's see if we can get that up to the 1 liter line. We're getting close. All right, there it is. There it is. We got ourselves 1 liter of prickly pear beer. So now we're going to pour the rest of this can and drink it. And action. Hey, that's not the right color. And that's way too much head. Cheers. Oof. No, that's not good. All right. Okay, so now we need to get a shot of, well, now we're actually, there we go. Now we're up to 1 liter. All right, so now we need to get a shot of putting the chemicals in. So I'm going to measure them both out. I just need to find a second measuring. Kristen's parents got her this cutting board that had these metal things off the side that hold these bins. So the idea that you can chop and scoop and have your waste bin and your stuff, your chopping bin and things you're working with bin, and it's too cumbersome and a pain in the ass to work with. So we took the metal things off of it. So it's a normal cutting board now, and now I got all these plastic bins that we have nothing to do with. So those are now my film chemical bins, so we don't put food in that. All right, so we need 24 grams of vitamin C, get a spoon here to scoop out 24 grams. And then when we're done, we'll measure out the Coke. .9, 24.19, 24.08, 24.10. Close enough. All right, so there's the vitamin C. And now, let's measure out 100 grams of washing soda. This stuff clumps up. This box is also getting a little close to the bottom, so I'm going to need to buy more of this stuff soon. There we go. Very close. Let's 99.94, 100. All right. Okay, so now I'll do a shot of, and this is my spoon to stir vigorously because this generally works better if you stir as you pour it in. All right, so now let's pour in our chemicals. Oh, look at it foam up. Okay. Oof. Okay, and that, I think we need to stir some more vigorously. I think the washing soda is still floating in the bottom of that pitcher there. Of course, another very important step here that I think is important enough to document is after rinsing our glass, we need to cleanse the palate of that bad beer with a good beer. Yingling. Motor's struggling on that camera, but that means that the film's running slower, so that'll give me more footage. And it'll make me look herky-jerky. And it jammed. I compensated my movements for the jam. Okay, we've used more than 30 feet of the film so far, and that cartridge has 50 feet, which is fine, because I think pretty much the only steps we've really got left to demonstrate is pouring the beer into the tank and agitating a little, and then putting the fixer in the tank and agitating. We won't do draining the tank and washing it. And I'm not going to save this fluid to use again, because I really don't need to preserve this stuff to drink more of it, because it's gone bad. Alright, so let's see what temperature we've got on this right now. And we've got our, first thing we're going to do is our test strip. And we're going to do this at 17 minutes to give it an extra 2 minutes, since this is exposed in low light, to try and compensate. And we're going to make sure we're going to heat the liquid up to 90 degrees, not let it cool down from 90 degrees to whatever, or try to compensate for that. This is actually at 73 degrees right now. So we need to submerge that some more. All right, so let's get that submerged. Let's monitor that. Now we play the waiting game. Yeah, let's get some more hot water in there while we're at it. Because that hot water bath's probably cooled a few degrees by now. But we've gone up to 74 degrees already. And 90 is the magic number we're shooting for here. All right. So now we just need to, I think if I keep stirring this while it's in there, that'll help move things around and more evenly distribute our heat, and hopefully that'll help settle down some of these suds. I don't know if we're supposed to actually wait for it to go completely flat. We're supposed to wait for it to calm down, and it has calmed down, but it's still sudsy. And generally, developing fluid, you don't want to be sudsy, but heck, we're just running it through a test strip right now, so it'll be even less sudsy for the actual roll in the Lomo tank. Yeah, this is the part where you get to watch the top of my head. All right, let's see what temperature we got here. All right, we are up to 79 degrees, so we're pretty close to 80. So we got another 10 degrees, 10-ish degrees to go here. And we'll have our beer developing fluid ready for our first test run. So yeah, I'm going to do 17 minutes in the Patterson tank, drain that, rinse, wash that, fix that, and I'm going to try to run that strip through the scanner and see how it looks and comes out. And based on that, if it looks like a good picture or a picture I can work with, then we're ready to do that at the same time. And if it's nothing, then we could consider upping the time. I don't know. If we get nothing, then we're like out of luck. Don't you love this process? We're going to do a test. If the test works, great. If the test doesn't work, I don't know. We'll just have to do it anyways. So why am I doing the test? Well, I mean, the truth is I'm doing the test because if the test gives me results that look like there's something but they could be improved on, then I can adjust from that. But my concern is that my test is going to be so bad I'm not even going to know what to do. All right, so this is at 83 degrees now. So we still got some more heating up to do of our beer. Well, actually, at this point, it's not beer, it's developing fluid because it's got the vitamin C and the washing soda in it. Man, does that smell of bad beer. Let's fix that with some good beer. All right. Let's see what we got here. 85. All right. See, the thing is I do it like too soon, and then it's like, it's 83, it's 84, it's 85, and then I just let it sit for a while, for how long I think it should be, and then it's 97, and then I gotta let it cool. I mean, this really, I should have gotten the thing, the sous vide machine. Problem is that, well, then I'd have to put this in a bottle that would sit nicely in the bath with the sous vide machine, which I could have done, but I didn't. So whatever. Maybe we'll do that next time. But we are getting close to our needed temperature here. And this gives us time to make sure that our developing fluid is quite vigorously mixed up. All right, we are getting really close. We're at up to 88 degrees now. So and climbing. So we are really closing in on this. I think we'll just kind of let this sit in here for the last 2 degrees. Actually, yeah, I can. Once again, this picture wants to float, but I got the little clip here that I can clip this thermometer to the pitcher and find out that that does not allow the end of it to actually touch the liquid because it's that low in the pitcher. Because this is a 5-liter pitcher. All right. Well, we are really getting close now. We're at 89 degrees and climbing. So we will be there real soon. And now, of all times, I realize I don't have my phone. No, I do have my phone on me. Earlier, I noticed I didn't have my phone on me, but I must have been mistaken because it's right in my pocket. And that is what I use for my timer. So we're definitely going to need that. All right. We are at 90 degrees. All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. So, here's our test strip, and we're gonna. Now the directions for this say to agitate constantly, but the instructions for this also are for developing it in a dark room in a bucket, hand agitating. So to make sure it's all fully submerged and soaked, you would have to hand agitate constantly. This tank, typically 3 agitations a minute, it does the job for just about anything. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get our timer ready, because like I said, we're going to do this 17 minutes to give it an extra 2 minutes since it's low light exposed. And plus, I think developing this film as a negative, they suggest that you should push your exposure, which the exposure was as much as it could be on this camera because it was low light, so it just opened it up. It's an auto exposure camera, so at low light it would be full exposure. Here we go, clock, timer. All right, so we're going to do, oh no, stopwatch. Here we go, and we're going to pour. And we're going to start. All right, there we go. We're going to put a cap on here. We want to be very careful because this stuff will release carbonation and try to pop the top off. All right, now we're going to give it a nice, good agitation to start with. I think they say agitate 15 seconds when you first put it in there. We put that in at about 20 seconds, and there we are at 35, so we're good there. And we want to give that a good bang, get the bubbles out of there. So I think what we're going to do is on the 32nd every time around. we're going to agitate. And, well, now that I'm not shooting things that I'm going to sync the sound up to, I think it's time for some tunage. So let's find a good tape. All right. Put that right there. There we go. Time for some more agitation. Time that perfectly. And, you know, this is kind of a film party, isn't it? We got beer, we got film developing, we got Mod Pro, 5-hit Dune, and Sparky Toaster in the house. So what do you party with? KC and the Sunshine Band. There it is. All right. Sparky writes in film developing. Yeehaw! Yes. All right, time for some more agitations. Now. Yeah, so basically we wait until our 17 minutes are up, and then we rinse and wash this, and we fix it, and then we see what we got, and then we do the real developing in the Lomo tank. So that's the problem with this film process, is that this process of developing the film with beer is a very slow developing. 15 minutes is what they call for. We're going to try to extend it to 17 to try to compensate for the low light, and so make that times 2. That's over a half hour of developing time, just doing the developing fluid. But that's okay, because we got KC. We might have to shoot a little bit of film of me boogieing with the film. We'll do that in the next agitation. There we go. Oh, I should turn the light off. There we go. That'll be a good shot. PC, is dancing shoes on the same track? Of course it is. Boogie shoes. Boogie shoes. I mean, this is KC and the Sunshine Band's greatest hits, so it's got all of them. Well, it doesn't have Do You Want to Go Party? It doesn't have I Like to Do It. And, but it's got all the others. So, yeah, slow development. But you know what? I actually got to move some laundry around in the basement, because I would have done the laundry earlier, but that's when I discovered that my washing machine wasn't agitated. We'll have to retell that story this Sunday on the Dude and Bob Show. Okay, I'm going to go move some laundry around.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty.
There we go.
Parker just writes in, better be careful, Johnny. You start dancing, you might get more people in here than you can handle. Let's get Brian to stop over. You will have all the agitating you can handle.
So true. All right, let's see. Make this into a dance film development stream. And look, the counts are not going up. Because, let's face it, people scrolling through, they're just going to see on the preview. That looks kind of awkward. All right. We've almost reached the halfway point of the developing stage on here. Now, the thing I really got to remember is to save my fluid. Dump it out into the pitcher here because we're going to reuse that if it works. Of course, this tape came out in 1980 and, like many greatest hits of the time, included 2 new songs. I can't dance to this. Who dances to this? This ain't no disco song. I guess you could sway to it.
You might get them confused and drink the wrong thing.
True, that could happen. I'm being pretty careful about that. Believe me, the way this stuff smells, there's no chance of that. This beer was originally red. It poured out golden with a tinge of orange. And I don't mean orange, I mean orange. Like, even the orange wasn't right. So, and I think that was just Dune leaving the room right there as our count dropped. I kid. Although I'm probably right. All right, we've hit the 10-minute mark on this. We've not even talked polytics. That's multiple ticks. That's like someone that ticks a whole lot while ticking, like Sweet Anita does. Polytics. Ain't nothing wrong with polytics. That's just saying really horrible words a whole lot. And we do a lot of that here. So, alright, getting close. Actually, right now I'm debating, should I do the 15 minutes it calls for the test strip? Or should I do the extra time I think I'm going to need? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do my best judgment for the test strip and adjust accordingly based on that. Now hold on. Exposing longer, does it make it lighter as in it makes the negative darker so it makes the positive lighter, or it makes the negative lighter so it makes the positive darker? I'm pretty sure underexposed film you're supposed to, or low light film you're supposed to push, which means more developing time. Let me Google adjust development time for low light. Let's see. Pushing and pulling film, a complete guide. Scene light. Push film will typically do better in even light since it can have increased contrast. A scene with very harsh, contrasty light isn't always ideal for push film because it will make it harder to keep your highlights from blowing out.
highlights flowing out means not dark. So I won't have that problem because I don't have highlights because I shot this in low light. So I think pushing is what we want to do. Now Sparky is a car guy, not a film developer. That's okay, I'm not a film developer either. I just play one on the internet. Alright, let's see what else. I'm also not a job interviewer, but yet I keep playing one at work. And they keep telling me I'm doing a good job, so... We offered someone the job today and they took it, and then they immediately got offered more money somewhere else and reneged. So we're still interviewing. If you're looking for a service desk job working right alongside me. There we go. Now this is much better. Now this is music to develop film too. See, toy camera push. Low light, shutter speed not suitable. Low light is the most common reason people push. So push. So I believe push means longer. Alright. So yeah, we're going to push this 2 minutes, which is, you know, we'll see how that goes. I don't really dance either. I dance about as good as I develop film. I kind of do a little bob, hold a drink type of... No, I don't think that works either. So yeah, we're going to push this 2 minutes to compensate for the low light. See how it comes out and go from there. Sparky's saying all kinds of symbols, and we're getting close to the 15-minute mark, so we'll be pushing things real soon. Okay, there we go. That is 15. And that means now we are pushing the film. We're pushing it, right? That's how you push the film, right? Yeah, no. Alright, so 1.5 more minutes, then we'll dump this out, and we'll do a whole lot of rinsing. And we can empty that out. We're going to want to refill that with more hot water. So Sparky wants to know if I was confronted with an event ID 41 issue on a laptop, where would you start? Google. Because I have no idea what that means. But we will be doing that real shortly, just after this agitation. Alright, event ID 41, what does that mean? I want to know what that means. Well, top result on Google says that means something prevented the operating system from shutting down properly. So that means something's stuck, something running in the background, something running under an administrator account or under a system account that won't be told what to do by you. So I'd start looking in the task manager to see what's running on there. Of course, pulling the plug also works pretty good to override stupid shit like that. And here we go. We're getting ready to
pour this out. Pour one out for the homies. All right. Now we got to wash. This is where you get to see the top of my head some more. There we go. We're just washing the film, and then we fix. Make sure we get this washed nice and thorough. Sparky writing in. I have that issue. Gear locks up to me once in a while. I did check this gap in R and reseated my RAM. Alright, so check disk. Did you, what's the one to check for any corruptions in the operating system? Do this all the time, but there's that command. I mean, are you sure it's you're checking hardware issues, but it's something not working right in the system, not wanting to shut down, something's running that shouldn't be running, or... Well, you said, you said it locks up. So you're seeing an event ID 41 when the system locks up. So why is the system even giving an error that it can't shut down? So something's triggering a shutdown and then that fails. Yeah, I gotta think on that some more. Unless I'm misunderstanding what you're saying here. You might have to call in the Dude and Bob so we can go over this. Alright. Now, we fix. The thing about Fixer is, it's one of those things that the timing isn't as critical. You really can't do it too long, but you can if you really do it too long. But, like, you can't do it too long. And this fixer's been mixed up for a while, so it's probably not as strong as it was. So we're going to add some extra time to this fixing. This instruction calls to fix for 3 to 4 minutes. So I think I'm going to go like 8. Just to double it to make sure. Actually, I should have tested this fixer. Because you could take like just, you know, some film that's unused and take a strip and put it in fixer. And if it clears, you know the fixer's working fine. And I got a box of 200 speed film that my dad gave me with his 35mm camera because he stopped using 35mm film before he ran out of 35mm film. So that's way expired film. So it's perfect for cutting a strip and testing if fixer's working. But I didn't do that, did I? But I did that like a month ago on this. And really, fixer just becomes less effective. It doesn't just stop working. From what I've read online, I think, I'm not an expert, I just play one on the internet. Alright, let's go for a Sam Adams cherry wheat this time. George McCrae on backup vocals. There we go. That is what beer with a fruit flavor should taste like. Not this. I think we can get another shot. I'll be dancing with the tank now that we're fixing. Just give the timer a little time to get around there. Right on the fade. Oh, forgot to turn the light off. Happens once every 7 days. That is odd for an error to happen cyclically, slowly. Once every 7 days. Is that an estimate and it's haphazard, or is that pretty regular? Like, does it happen sometimes 2 days in a row and sometimes 2 weeks out? Or is it pretty much once a week it's happening somewhere around the same time? Like there might be some kind of a weekly thing that happens in the background. It's an estimate and haphazard. Ooh, okay. So much for that. Yeah, I don't know. So a haphazard freezing. So now you want hardware, and you probably want hardware because you're probably thinking heat, something variable. Is it happening less frequently as the temperature is cooling? You know, if we want to go with the temperature theory, but that doesn't always pan out anyways. Let me think, what's that other command? SFC scan now, and a command prompt, an elevated command prompt. Command run as administrator, you know, bring up start menu, type in CMD, right click command prompt, run as administrator, put in admin credentials if you need to, but you probably don't. At the command prompt, type in S as in Sam, F as in Frank, C as in Charlie, space / scan now, all one word. And hit enter. And that'll kind of check for any corruption in the system files. Maybe that'll find something. And then get down tonight. Yeah, exactly. SFC scan now, you got it right. Now, if you've done anything to modify the system to not be default, like some kind of a crack or patch, but who does that anymore to the operating system? But yeah, basically it just checks that your system files look good. It'll let you know if it made any repairs or not. Alright, so I think we're ready to get my funnel. put this fixer back in its bottle. Alright, now we find out the moment of truth. Do we have anything that looks recognizable as the image of a cat at the top of the stairs in a dimly lit stairwell? Hard to tell from here. I think there's actually an image on there, and I think it might be good. I'm going to go ahead and just dry this strip off by hand, is what I'm going to do. And then I need to run upstairs and get my SD card and scan this in the scanner and import it into a computer and invert it and see what we got. Does this computer have an SD reader on it? It don't, but that's okay because it's got the USB ports that I've got. So we can do it right on here maybe. Although I don't have a inversion. Oh, I could play the negative film in VLC, take a screenshot, open it up in Paint, invert it there, share the screen. So yeah, we're going to look at this together. Leave your hand over it before you open it. Sorry, I missed that. We'll have to do that for the real deal. Anyways, all right, let me make some room here for my film scanner. And while I go get the SD card and film scanner, you got little boogie shoes. out in that, but we'll go ahead and scan that and see what we got. Damn, we might be shit out of luck here. That piece of film there, we're going to splice it onto the end of the other when we're done. Alright. So I'm going to bring this up in VLC, grab a frame, throw it in paint, invert it, and I'll share the screen and we'll see if any of us can see anything that looks like an image. And that's going to tell us how well low light film does with this, or if we even have anything usable. Oh, do I not have VLC on this? Oh, how do you know it's an 8-track? When the really good song fades out. Where's my ka-chunk? There it is. Alright, so we're getting VLC on this. Alright. Download the DLC. And we'll get our first look at an image of this film. Now, like I said, I had about 5 feet left at the end of this reel, and I just pointed it up the stairs at the cat. Turned on the lights in the house, but didn't really turn on the stairwell light, so there was some light, some indoor light, but not much, because that was kind of the lighting I was filming in. Although I filmed this on a porch that got darker because it started at dusk and ended at night. I also shot some of it indoors with lamps on. I did shoot some outdoors with outdoor lighting. So the very beginning of the film, the first 10-15 feet will probably come out just fine, unless we ruin it by overexposing. So if we don't get anything good off of this, we're going to do the normal time, because that's what the instructions are, and that way we can at least get the ideal shot film to look good, and the rest is a lost cause. But if we get something that looks recognizable out of this test, we're going to push the whole thing to 17. I don't think we're going to push to 19 or 20. I think that would be ridiculous. If anything, it might be pushing that ruined our film. I don't think so, though. Alright, let's run our VLC installer. And it wants to know if we want to install that in English. Yes, we do. Alright, VLC is installing. And that way we can just grab a still shot and invert it in Paint. They still include Paint in Windows 11, right? Yeah, they do. Good. good. That is something that stayed consistent from Windows 1 on. Although, was it called Paint in Windows 1? I think it was, but it saved to a different file format.
Alright, run VLC media player. There we go. Now I can tell it to open this file with VLC. Now let's see. Let me see. Actually, that's kinda recognizable. Yes.
Those are my stairs, and that's my cat.
Okay, this is a negative, but you can kind of make it out. No, I don't want to install it in English. I want to install it in my kitchen.
Where are my sound effects when I need them?
Alright, I'm going to share my screen right now to show you the negative that I'm looking at paused on VLC. So as you see there, the little black fleck in the upper right area,
That's my white cat. On the left side, you can see the railing of the stairs. So, yeah. So let me take a still shot of this and invert it in Paint. Pretty sure Paint has the invert option. And I'm pretty sure I should be able to save a still shot from VLC. There we go, take snapshot. Alright, there we go. So now that saved that to my pictures folder. So now we're going to go open that up in Paint. Now I need to figure out how to invert in Paint. I thought Paint had the option to invert. I could have sworn I've done this. Size, select. Maybe not. Maybe Paint will not let us invert this. Oh wait, let's see. Open image in the Paint app. Click the select menu. Click select all. Right click the selected area. Click invert colors. All right. Select all. Right click. Invert selection. That didn't work. Oh, invert color. There it is. Okay. That does not look very good. Let's save that to the desktop, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. That way we can open this up in a file viewer, we can make it bigger. And all right. So this is what we're looking at after pushing it. There we go. All right, so I'm going to share the inverted image. So that is what our film looks like for our low light test at the end. Now, how well this low light compares to the low light of the porch? Now, the porch actually had a dim light hanging above the table I was shooting at. So there was a more even dim light Now the question is, did I push this too far? Should I push this further?
I mean, that's the thing. Pushing it further, I don't think is going to help.
But I don't think I want to develop it less than this. But then again, those dark stairs are very grayish. So I don't know.
Now, Sparky wants to know what is this on your film? I got to figure out how to copy paste that.
Well, there's a scratch across the film, and the glowing in the top right corner, I think, is my cat.
No, actually, that's not even my cat.
That is the light at the top of the stairs. So the cat's not even showing up in this shot because how dark the stairwell is. Basically, at the top of the stairs is a plug outlet, and I put one of those plug outlets that has a little light that automatically comes on when it's dark. So that's the light at the top of the stairs. And then the left side, you see like the railings and the banister.
So I can't even make out where I guess I can kind of see the cat a little bit
In there, if I look closer, it's faintly there below and to the left of the light. So the whole purpose of this test was to figure out, do I want to develop it for this time, or do I want to do the default time, or do I want to push it even further? I don't think I'd push this further because I think pushing this further isn't going to increase my contrast any. I think I've already, lightened this as much as I can with this process. So I think I'm going to do 17 minutes for the full roll. And I think we'll just see what comes out on that. And this is perfect because we need to change the tape. All right, and we need to start warming up our developing fluid again. Because this developing fluid probably ain't 90 degrees anymore. Let's see what we got on that. 78 degrees, 79 degrees. All right, that's not bad. All right, well, we'll get another tape in here, and then we'll run some hot water and heat up our fluid, and we'll get ready to. And we also got to figure out what we're going to shoot for the rest of our film for this. All right, let me put this off to the side for now. All right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to shoot a shot of me pouring the developing fluid into the Lomo tank. So let's clear the recyclables back here. Move the Lomo tank into shot because this is where our camera is pointed. Of course, after we do that, we're going to want to move the Lomo tank over here because we're going to drain into the sink. Although we're only going to drain this once because, yeah, we're going to drain it right into the sink. We're not saving this fluid for any more. Okay. And we can put this funnel in the sink too and put the cap back on our fixer. All right. All right, so there we go. We're gonna bump our film, agitate, and cut camera. Although we're getting close to the end of that roll of film that we're shooting. So, and that one, since we got a light, will develop much better. But we're not going to do that one tonight, unless we do. Once again, I wonder if we can get away with a second roll with this stuff. Another test strip? Nah, that'd be ridiculous. We'll think about that. We will think about that. But we gotta get our next tunage. Let's see what we got. You know what I need to do before we get tunes? I need to check on the laundry and move some clothes along. So I will be right back after doing some laundry and grabbing another tape of tunage. Let's see what we got. Yeah, let's do that one. All right. So we got K-Tel's The Hit Machine, or we got K-Tel's Disco Dynamite. And I thought for sure I was in trouble when I bought a tape with a big X but over the label. Like, oh shit, someone recorded over this tape. No, they did not. They just put an X on it. They're both great albums. Disco Dynamite's all disco. Hit Machine is your eclectic mix of rock and disco and pop and all that. I mean, it's got everything from Casey and the Sunshine Band, which would be a repeat at this point, to Linda Ronstadt, to Frankie Valli, to Rick Springfield, to Rick Dees, to Walter Murphy, to Kiss, to the Four Seasons. Or we can go with Disco Dynamite, which we got Rick Dees again and Andrea True. We got BT Express. We got Johnny Taylor. We got KC, of course, and we got Discotex, Vicky Sue, Walter Murphy, OJ's. Both pretty good takes. You know what? Let's throw in Disco Dynamite. Unless someone's writing something, which they're not. Okay. Actually, I don't want to run sound while I'm shooting the pouring of the fluid, because I might try to sync that sound up to this film at some point. And that's cool for the dancing segments. Actually, I think it'll be kind of cool to have like me talking and then cut to me dancing with music. And then cut to me talking. Kind of like that guy on TikTok with the band recipes, and every now and then it cuts to him playing the accordion. Alright, so now we're going to heat our fluid up to 90 degrees. And Sparky goes, yeah. Yeah, to the Disco Dynamite, I assume. And we're going to get this heated up to 90 degrees by putting in a bath of our hot water. Hot water in the tap of the house. That's typically 135 degrees Fahrenheit, right? That's normal. Great for heating things up. I'm wondering, what is that? Is that really normal? I think it would be normal for something to be plumbed to mix some cold with the hot when going to the tap, so the tap doesn't come out scalding hot turned up to the max. But then again, sometimes it comes in handy to have a tap that will put out scalding hot water. Like, I could brew tea right out of the sink. Now Sparky goes, no, 120 is normal. Oh, I got an extra 15 degrees. That's a bonus 15 that this house came with. Well, that's because the same water that basically the furnace heats the water that goes through the loops in the house to heat the house and feeds the sink. And no plumbing was done to cool that down on the way to the sink. So I'm getting the same temperature that heats the house, which is 135, which is what I measured earlier. So yeah, this house gets hotter than normal because it would take some extra plumbing to get normal, which, as I've found out the more I've lived in this house, there are a lot of corners cut after the fire. I suspect is when those corners are cut. Now Sparky goes, whoa. Well, I think that's. I growing up, I noticed that the hot water came out hotter at my grandparents' house than at our home, and so maybe that's even a relatively more modern thing of my childhood to not have scalding hot water come out of the pipes as people pay more attention to safety, because it's kind of like, how hot should coffee be? Well, not that hot. Of course, people mock the McDonald's hot coffee lawsuit, when in reality, the coffee was heated up irresponsibly hot, caused third-degree burns in a matter of seconds when it poured on the woman, and all she wanted was McDonald's to cover her medical bills because it was irresponsibly hot. And maybe that still doesn't sway you on that case, but that's, oftentimes that case is mocked, but it's not as ridiculous as it's painted to be. You could heat the house just by running the hot water. Yeah, exactly. I have 2 loops that feed the upstairs and the downstairs, and yeah, it just thermostat turns on and off when it cycles new water into there. And this water heats the house. And let's see, our developing fluid is now at 85 degrees. So we're getting close to ready. 86 degrees, actually. So yeah, we're just heating up our developing fluid again back up to 90. And then we're going to turn on the camera, pour this into the Lomo tank, start our timer, agitate a bit, and then cut the camera and see how much film we got left in our camera for our little short movie on how to develop film with beer. And I think I'm not going to, even if I do develop that film tonight, I'm not going to reuse this fluid. I don't know, this fluid barely does it as it is. So develop, it probably will weaken from one roll. I'd probably have to push it more in the second roll. And like I said, I have no desire to drink this stuff. And I have enough beer for the rolls of film I have. So even if I do develop that roll tonight, we're going to crack open another 3 cans of this stuff and mix up a fresh batch of developing fluid for that roll of film. But we'll see what time it is when we're done with this roll and decide if we want to repeat. Of course, I have to load that film into the tank, which I guess I could do standing here at the camera and ramble on a bit while I do it. You could, yeah, I already read that. Okay, so we are at 89 degrees. Let's stir up to evenly distribute the heat in here. Yep, getting really close now. 89 degrees. And let's go ahead and stir that some with the spoon. right, we still got 2 viewers in here, so I'm not sure who else is hanging out here with Sparky. If Dune just has us on in the background, or if Mod Pro still is on in the background, or if we have a lurker. But anyways, hello out there to both of you. Of course, I've already said hello to both of you, unless one of you is a lurker that hasn't talked. All right, we got getting real close now. 89.6, 89.8, 89.6, 89.8, 89.6, 89.8, 89.8, 90. All right. We are ready. I'm going to let that cool down a bit before I reach my hand in there to pull the plug. All right, so once again, going to stand here. We're going to turn on pour, turn on our timer, agitate, and that'll be our shot. Might be our last shot. We're getting low on film on here. Racer writes in, just listening. Oh, well, welcome, Racer. Yes, we are. I'm glad that developing film is entertaining. Listen, but we're gonna shoot some more film while I develop film, and then we'll get tunes going, and we're gonna do 17 minutes on this, agitating every minute. And then we'll drain and rinse this out, and then we'll fix. And so let me see what I got left on this roll. I'm gonna need a flashlight. All right, so I've shot 40 feet on that roll so far, so we got 10 feet of film left on that cart. So it might run out while I'm pouring the fluid in there, because I basically got to start the camera, walk over here, pour the whole pitcher in here, which has got to pour in slowly, and then I'm going to want to agitate before I stop. So this might be our last shot of the film. So we made a film on developing film with beer, and it ends with us actually pouring the fluid on the beer, because we wasted time shooting movie of me dancing while agitating the test strip, which I wasn't even going to include the test strip in the film, but it was just too much fun to pass up a few shots of me badly dancing to disco music. All right, but we got to get at least a shot of me pouring the fluid in. So, turn on our light, check our angle. All right, that should be good. And go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put that in there. And stop. I've got less than 5 feet left in that reel now. Do some more agitations here. Tap that to work some bubbles out. I think what we're going to do for our last shot is, basically I got one more shot left in there. I could do a shot of draining the tank into the sink, or I could do a shot of pouring the fixture in, but that's just more pouring. I could do a shot of taking the film out. I could load a second roll and actually get a complete film of this. I guess, do I want this film to actually be a narrated film that's an accurate how-to? Or this is really just a fun film, I think. I don't think it needs to be all that accurate. Besides, no one can really do this anymore because they don't make or sell this beer anymore. So only people who hoarded it, like me, can even do this anymore. All right, let's do some agitations there. We're at 1.5 minutes. So we'll do agitations on the half minute. There's an article online about developing film and beer in general, and I think they were using fat tire. So I think this is a process that can be done with other beers, but certainly it's not common. And the first time I ever heard of it was with this Dogfish Head Kodak collaboration. So I probably won't try to do more beer film developing. I think it's one of those things that it doesn't come out with the best quality. It's more of a thing that you do just because you could say you did it, and look, it works. But it's not going to get you your good quality results. And so a novelty like that is really only good for so many times. Let's put the tape in. Why am I getting the noise on that? There we go. That tape's a little more mid-rangey than the other. All the ladies would treat me right. Was pet tire a bias or radial tire? That's a good question. Let's find out. Let's see, pet tire is Belgium. Let's see, what type of beer is it? What it is. It's an amber ale, is what it is. So it's not bias or radial. Sparky's quacking. So now we just got to develop this for our 17 minutes with our 2-minute push. We're going to drain it, wash it, rinse it, and then we'll fix it. And then we got to hang it out to dry. Oh, I was going to do a shot of hanging it out to dry, but that's a pretty lame shot actually. So it doesn't need to be an accurate how-to that includes all the steps. So we'll figure out. I really only got one more shot left in there, and I don't even know if I can get in frame in time to shoot that shot before it reaches the end. So heck, we might even want to just do a shot of me dancing to more disco music while turning the knob here. But I don't know. That might be too much dancing for one silent film. Spin 3 plates with a stick. Let's see here. I better not. That was real convenient that I had a stick nearby. Real convenient. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go hit the plunger again, just dance to some agitating here to end the film. That's it. And then we'll decide if we want to develop that after we're done with this one.
running out? It's got to be out by now. Well, we got ourselves a jammed cart. For some reason, it stopped advancing the film at some point because it was still running at the end. The counter reached the end. The counter moving doesn't mean the film's moving. The counter just measures how long the motors ran since the cart's been put in. So, it's the second cart I've had this run with. This pisses me off though because this one's a new cart. I have a feeling it jammed when I was drinking a beer, because at that point it jammed and stopped moving and then it started moving again, so I think at that point it started slipping or something. Bad luck with this thing lately. We're actually shit out of luck with this cartridge. The film snapped. I can turn the wheel, the film ain't advancing. Now the question is, which half has the film that was shot and which half has the film that wasn't? Damn. Does the film move up or down? Here's the thing. So what's in here has not been shot. Okay, actually, I don't think the film snapped because I'm not getting something that's pulling out without resistance. I think a piece of plastic that pulls the film snapped. And so we probably got half a roll here. Meanwhile, I've not been watching my timer or agitating. So, so the question is do we want to shoot another roll? Fuck. So none of my dancing was captured by the camera, I don't think, because I don't think I started doing the dancing shots until after I did the Pora Yingling. So, man. So I think what I need to do is I need to pull this card out in the film bag until I get to an end, and then reel the spaghetti onto a reel, and then from there transfer it onto the Lomo tank. I don't know if it's worth doing tonight. Man, that's a... You know, I heard that the Ektachrome 100D has been having problems with jamming, but I haven't heard this problem about the Tri-X. But I guess it makes sense that if Kodak's having problems with their carts for one type of film, it's a cart problem, that their carts are going to have this problem. So yeah, it's been a problem. The new Kodak carts, although usually it's the Ektachrome that gets the complaints. I think the Vision film has been working good, but that's color negative. I'm
not really interested in developing color negative film. I'm really not all that interested in developing negative. I'm really interested in reversal and projecting. This is just because this process with the beer only does a negative. So yeah, we're just SOL in this cart. We got about half a cart, and we'll pull it out, develop the whole thing, and whatever we got is what we got. Take it back to the store. Tell them you want a refund. Well, I bought it online, and I'm not sure. The thing is, I bought some pre-COVID, and then I bought some more post-COVID, and I'm not sure. I think this is part of the post-COVID batch, so I probably did buy this within the last year, but I'm not really sure what the policy is on jammed carts. I've not heard of people getting refunds for them. Well, at least it wasn't an Ektachrome cart, because the Ektachrome carts are like 40 to 50 bucks. This one was more like 30 to 35, which is still a lot of money to throw away on something that only half worked. Then again, it was a lot of money for a 3-minute silent movie to start with. So I'm probably just going to chalk it up to it is what it is and not try to demand a refund from someone on it. Certainly, I've been wanting to buy and shoot more Ektachrome, but I've held off on buying any of that until Kodak fixes the problem, because I know Kodak has been working with streamers, sending them test carts, trying to fix the problems. And I know FilmBoy24 has been doing that, and apparently he has a review or update in the works that he's going to be dropping on his channel at some point on how that went. And hopefully he's got some information there. I don't know. If you haven't watched FilmBoy24's YouTube channel, I recommend it. He does a lot of developing bound film. Usually develops it as a black and white negative and then scans it and inverts it. But he's done some expired found Ektachrome color development, and that is really cool and something I'm trying to do. So far I've not had luck with it. I developed one roll of expired Ektachrome as a color with an expired kit, and it came out completely blue. It blew itself, and I think people I consulted with online chalked it up to expired chemicals. It was 8 months old, which they said was way too old, which I thought it should still somewhat work, but it came out really blue and a negative. Someone else suggested that maybe it was a roll of Kodachrome, but I'm fairly confident that I didn't mix up my carts. A lot of oversights have to be made for me to have developed the wrong cart and the wrong chemicals. Anyways, we're nearing the 16-minute mark here. My agitations have not been regular at all, but this process ain't that regular either, so. But anyways, I shot another roll of Ektachrome because what I'm going to do is I got like 5 rolls of expired Ektachrome. I'm going to shoot them all. I'm going to wait for the problem with the new Ektachrome to work itself out, buy another 5 to 10 rolls of new Ektachrome, shoot that over the course of years, mind you. And then I'll get like, 10 to 15 rolls of Ektachrome that need to be developed. And then I'll buy a new Ektachrome kit and do them all in the same period of time before the chemicals expire to get my full use of a Ektachrome kit. Because an Ektachrome kit's like 40 to 50 bucks, which is not worth it if you only get one good roll developed out of it. But if I get, 5, 10, 15 rolls out of it, I'm in good shape. All right, we're getting close to our 17-minute mark here. We're going to drain this. We're going to make sure we got cool water here to
rinse and wash things with. All right, drain. All right, get some water in there. Good. That's good. That water was pretty clear. So I think we're pretty well rinsed here. Now this is the part where you get to see the top of my head again. There we go. Alright, it's looking good. Looking good. We're getting clear water out of here. Actually, we're getting some purple out of there. Interesting. Anyways, as I was saying, I took one of my rolls, one of my 5 rolls of expired Ectochrome that I've picked up, and I took it to the beach to shoot it, and I shot some great shots. My 4-year-old cousin and her dad, and he's playing with her on the beach, throwing her up in the air, and she's stomping around, stomping sandcastles, and my cousins throwing the frisbee around on the beach, running, trying to catch it, missing it, sometimes catching it, sometimes missing it, and all kinds of great beach shots I'm shooting. And then I get to the point where it's nearing the end of the roll of the film, 5 to 10 minutes left. No, 5 feet left. And I just shoot it at the people throwing the frisbee back and forth, because that way that'll be kind of a generic shot of the beach that's pretty consistent for a good test strip for that roll. And just like this roll, keeps rolling, keeps rolling, keeps rolling past the 50-foot mark, keeps rolling, keeps rolling, keeps rolling. And now that film, I took the card out, the film was wrinkled in space there. Now if I turn the wheel, it would advance, but it wrinkled so that it wasn't catching the sprocket holes. So that film got a bit brittle and curled and not right. Now my water's still coming out with a purplish hue as I'm rinsing this. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if that's bad or good, or if that's just a thing. It's not the beer. Certainly the beer's rinsed off, but I'm still getting a color on my water while just rinsing. Alright, that looked pretty clear. Alright, so I'm going to make sure we get a nice good drain on all this water here. Meow? What are you meowing about there? You got your treats, you know that? You already got your treats. Why are you down here meowing at me? You don't like it when I pick you up. You barely tolerate me petting you. And you got all your food for the night, so I don't know what you could possibly want right now. Alright, well it's time to fix. So we got ourselves a bottle of Fixer. And we're going to go ahead and pour this in here. Well, about? You better see a doctor. Your agitation's not regular.
Yeah, I got so distracted I didn't agitate the film regularly. And my washing machine had an agitation problem today. So I'm just filled with agitation problems.
Brian's agitation's irregular.
Yeah, they are.
Alright, so
I don't know if we're going to develop this one tonight. Actually, it's before midnight. We're probably going to finish this up around... Well, we're going to... After we're done fixing, which we'll fix this for 8 minutes again, we'll take this one out, rinse it, wash it off, hang it on the rack, and then I think I'll see what I can do with this. Yeah, this is going to be a pain to deal with in the film change bag, but we'll just have to, that's the thing, I'm going to have to find one end, and the thing is I'm really going to want to find the right end. I think I should be able to identify the right end now. Well, then I want to get, oh man, I got to do so many things blind, because I want to load its sprocket holes down. I want to load it so that the beginning is in the middle of the tank, because I found that typically if I have any threading issues in the Lomo tank, they're at the edge of the tank. And usually the end of the movie has less important stuff than the beginning of the movie, because usually the end of the movie I'm using up film, putting like a basic stationary shot that would make a good test strip. So if something messes up at the end, it's not that big a deal. Now this film, there's definitely no problem at the end of the film. No, nothing that's... This one, there's definitely unimportant stuff at the end of the film, important stuff at the beginning. Pain in the ass. Of course, the problem is, if I want to stream this development, you're all going to have to watch me play with the film change bag for a half hour. Or I'll have to stop and restart. Also, if the tape gets to the end before I finish with this part, we're going to have to re-listen to the same tape. Alright, we're going to need to drain the fixer back into the bottle here once we're done. It's fixer stuff you don't pour down the drain. Anyways, yeah, so I think we might do that. I might just stand here with the film change bag, talk a bit. Maybe we'll put on a fresh tape to have 4 programs before it loops. Because we'll be on the second half of this tape by then. Alright, we're at 5 minutes on fixing. Which really fixing should only be 3 to 4, but since my fixer's old, I'm giving it extra time to be sure. Shame. I guess I could always take a few shots from this camera angle, crop it, make it black and white, and add a Super 8 filter effect. Not really any reason or need for that though, but alright, 6 minutes here. Just going to give it another 2 minutes. We'll drain the fixer out of here, and we'll see what we've got hanging out in the rack to dry, and then we'll start working on the next reel. Figure out what to do with this. I think I'm just going to have to put a reel in the bag with me. I'll pull it out from one end. It's probably somewhere around the middle. And I'll just pull till I get to an end and then spool it onto the reel and spool the rest out. And from there I'll the end has a hole in it. So I'm gonna want to find the end with the hole and spool that onto the reel. That way I can thread from the beginning, and the beginning of my Lomo tank. So I got a 50-50 chance pulling the right way. Alright, getting pretty close here. Good. We're just going to go ahead and really hard to get every last bit of fluid out of this thing. But at this point, I can open this up. And of course we have a spot at the end where the film's stuck together, because we always do.
I'm crashing your shit!
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I just needed.
My cart jammed.
Oh no!
Yeah, I only got probably about half of it.
Oh, that
If that.
sucks.
Yeah. That sucks because it was a new cart.
Yeah. Well, that's bullshit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to pull it out and it jammed and it broke a piece of plastic, so it won't advance anymore with the wheel.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. So
That's one of the new ones?
yeah, that's one of the new Tri-X. Now I've heard that people have been reporting that the new Kodak Ektachrome has been having lots of jam problems,
Okay.
but they haven't been complaining about the Tri-X. But
Just lucky, I
it's
guess.
the same cart, so it makes sense that they would all have problems.
Right. I'm gonna put this somewhere. I guess there's really no good place to put this, huh?
Right now, no,
Alright.
but they can go somewhere.
It goes here.
There you go.
I'll
Yeah,
wash it tomorrow.
yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll spin it on a stick. The Sparky Toaster's idea.
Hey! That's a good idea.
Alright, we gotta wash the fixer off of this. photo flow in the last rinse. I want to try to not get too many bubbles. Just a little drop in there. Just to soften that water. And, agitate that a bit in that water with the photo flow. Alright, in this film, I do not need to worry about remjet, because this is new film. Not that old stuff that comes with remjet on it. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to turn this over. Spool this out onto a rack to dry. Thanks for the stream, it was fun. Alright, well hey, if you gotta run, you gotta run. So we'll catch you Sunday on the 5-hit. Gotta be there, it's required. We have a rule, Sparky Toaster must be there. Not allowed to break that. Well, we're not ending the stream, so if anyone wants to stick around, we are still going to try to salvage what we can out of that cart we just shot. So I'm just going to hang this out to dry, and then we'll figure that out. Rinse and wash some things off and figure out what we're going to do next. I had some clips, and I was looking at them earlier, and then I put them down somewhere. Here they are. Alright, I'm going to go off the camera, because I got a little rack here that I wrap the film around. Dry.
For the cats every night. In case people are wondering what I am doing.
Yes.
This is food ball.
Food ball for the cats.
They know you're doing stuff. I mean, they can smell it, so, you know. That's why they're not down here. But at some point tonight, they will be wanting the food ball.
They want the food ball. Unfortunately, I can't gracefully get this spool out.
I mean, huge knots.
That's why I changed those gallons. We wanted the food bowl let out. Alright, so we're gonna spool this film onto a take-up reel. And then we're gonna look at the next roll. I tried to spool it off of the Lomo spiral, but it fell off, tangled into a mess on the floor. So we're going to just nicely take this up onto a reel here. We definitely got some frames on the lead of this, which I started shooting this outdoors at the beginning of the day. So this roll. Now the cool thing is this roll shot through beginning to end with no problems. So at least not all of our Tri-X rolls are jamming. So we got to give Kodak credit for that. That not every roll of film they make is a complete disaster. Just some of them. So if there's one nice thing to say about Kodak, it's that not everything they make is a disaster. Just some of the things. And if there's one nice thing I have to say about Whirlpool, well, I got nothing there. So sorry, Whirlpool. But I hate the fridge I have you make. Even though I got the washing machine working again, not a fan of it. Wouldn't buy it again. All right, we got this film mostly off the floor now. Getting close there. Just gotta twist a few. And do we got a view? We still got 2 viewers. Cool. Excellent. 2 people sticking with us tonight. Out to dry some more.
I'm your very best jockey trying to tell you it's time to get dancing. You can't think of all the wrong and all the wrong of the world. You can't think of all the bad things you do. You just gotta keep dancing without your mind. Be hot, let yourself while you're dancing. Kick your legs in the air, push your hair out, walk around.
nice and neat, not sticking to itself. And then we're going to regroup here and figure out our next move for the night. We're just hanging this out to dry on a drying rack I got here. 50 feet of film is not the most pleasant thing to deal with, but it's manageable. Just gotta spool it here. Frames on this roll, so that's good. Out on the rack. All right, there's the end. Okay. Got our film all spooled out on a rack to dry. Now, got this to deal with. We got two viewers that stuck through it. Alright, so let's get my film change bag. Now, first thing I gotta do is I gotta wash out the Lomo tank. Because if we're gonna reload the Lomo tank, we need it to be washed. And we probably need it to be dry, but you're probably not gonna get it completely dry easily. Let's see if we can. We did a lot of rinsing on this, so our spiral should be good to reload. So once we get our film change bag ready to go, we're going to put a new tape in. We're going to make it a long tape. We're going to make it a reliable tape. Because if the tape jams, I got to decide what's more important. Take my hands out of the bag, expose the film, and save the tape, or let whatever the 8-track player is doing to the tape happen until I'm done with my arms in the bag. So we'll get something I have multiple copies of. Go on there.
row, that's looking good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my backup copy of the Hit Machine, because this is the copy I had in college. But I have another copy I picked up cheap at a, I forget where, flea market, thrift store. And I know I fixed it up, so it should be good. But if it gets chewed, it's not a big deal, because it's not the one I normally listen to. So... Alright, that's dry. Put this together here. Start that out together in the bag. Alright. Alright, now we're gonna make sure we get our hose dried. Problem is the hose will probably still have some droplets inside of it, so hopefully the hose won't leak out much while it's in the bag. Just take a paper towel to the inside of this. That ought to be good enough. Yeah, we rinsed our film thoroughly, so our tank is rinsed pretty thoroughly. This on the outside of the hose. Alright. Just get another paper towel for that. There, that's looking nice and dry. Yeah, we're ready to reload this. Alright. That. Basically what I do is I rest the lid on top of the Lomo tank. I rest this on top of that. In the bag I take this off, move it to the side, thread the film, put this back on, spool it on top of the tank, and then when that's finished threading, put it to the side, take the lid off, put it in. Because my film change bag doesn't give me much room to work with. But what's kind of annoying is that at this point in time, I'm going to have to navigate pulling the film out of the cartridge, making a spaghetti mess, and then getting it on a reel and untangling it, and then loading this. Alright, let me find the tape. Start a new tapes because that one's gonna end and loop around soon, and I'm gonna tie up my arms. So let's. All right, so a lot of repeats tonight. All right, so we want that this way, that this way. That's the way I normally do things. I want more counter space, so I'm going to move the coffee machine over. And we'll take that, put that there.
tank from the back. Cartridge and a take-up reel. Put that over this side, over here. Actually, I'm going to put this inside of the tank for now to give me some more room to work with. When I'm ready, I'll take it out of the tank. Zip this up, and then we're going to Velcro it shut. And then we're going to put our arms in. I'm going to take a drink of water before I do that. Now it's moving the wheel. Which means this. Try to screw this in. It's gonna be a pain. Let me spool it back in. Alright, so I was pulling out the wrong end, usual. So now I pulled out a bunch that I'm going to have to deal with. So let's see if I can spool that back in. Alright, so the part that the wheel is turned means that's the
wheel will only pull. So now the wheel's pulling, whereas before it wasn't. I think that something that's spring-loaded stopped working.
Ain't nothing like the sky that knows a potion. The moon will send you on your way.
So I want to pull what's coming out the top, basically. Pull that until we get to the end.
Feels right. We'll lay back and observe the constellations and watch the moon smiling bright.
It's gonna be a pain.
I play the radio on southern stations, 'cause southern bills are here at night. You say you came to Baltimore from Ole Miss, a class of 7-4 gold ring. The eastern moon looks ready for a wet kiss to make the tide rise again. Moonlight feels right. Moonlight feels right.
Just pulling the film out here is what I'm doing. This is a pretty boring stream at this point, but we shot a roll of Super 8 Tri-X. It jammed halfway through, so now I'm pulling it out of the cartridge in a film change bag, get it in a Lomo tank, so I can develop whatever came out and figure out how much we got. So right now it's a boring point in the stream, but we will load the film and then we will mix up another batch of Dogfish Head Super 8 developing fluid. Because I got another 3 cans of the stuff and it ain't good for drinking anymore, but it'll still develop film. At least I think I got the shot of me on here drinking a little bit left at the bottom of the 3rd can that I was pouring out and making a face. So, and I have got a spaghetti situation going on in this bag right now. Not good. Okay, there's the end. Okay, so that is the end. Okay, and that is face the sprocket holes down. So let me now find in my spaghettis here that film hub, take up, or there it is. Alright. We're gonna fold the end of that, tuck that to there. Now we're gonna take up this film onto a reel. So I've now pulled out the end of the film that is unexposed and taken it up onto a reel. And it's all spaghetti in here. And then whatever's left to take up out of the cartridge is stuff that we exposed and shot. So it should develop something. Of course, I'm just making a guess that it jammed up halfway through because I'm pretty sure. I mean, like, I remember when I was doing something, when I was toasting the camera with the Yingling, because that was better beer than the Dogfish Head. It jammed and stopped, and then it started moving again. So I think at that point it broke something in the cartridge and stopped advancing film. Of course, now I got a tangly mess forming here. I mean, I pulled it out straight, so it shouldn't be looped and twist on itself. But curly things have a way of doing that. Whether or not they physically should, they find ways to knot up on themselves. And this is
And no exception here. But that's okay, because I'm fighting with unexposed film at this point. Alright, we're doing good. We're doing good. We've made it through the tangles and untangled them. And it's rolling up nicely on my reel here. And I think I'm getting closer to the cartridge now. And I can kind of read the chat from here, so if anyone wants to type anything in. We got one lone viewer out there, and I thank you for sticking with us. And we just need to get this on a reel, and then I need to spool this into the spiral on the tank, and then we can start. I gotta rinse out my pitcher actually, and then we can measure out chemicals to mix up another batch of developing fluid. Alright, running into more tangles, which means I'm probably getting close to my cart. We are getting there. And winding 50 feet of film, not the most fun thing to do, but I find this is necessary. I think some people load the Lomo tank right off the cartridge. I prefer to spool the cartridge onto a reel and then load the Lomo tank, because then that gets me to the beginning of the film and the beginning and the middle, like I said before. And I find I always get a few loops that come loose at the end and stick to each other and don't develop right. And I always have unimportant stuff at the end. Now this is very concerning because I have now wound this film pretty close to the cartridge. And it's filled the reel, which means that I think we exposed very little of this cart. Oh my God. I pulled a few feet out of the cart the other way before I started pulling it the other way, but not much. So if anything, we only exposed like 5 to 10 feet on this. It might not even be worth. It might not be even worth doing this. Ugh. This is annoying. Debating what I want to do here actually, because I really think I got like maybe some of the initial shot of the stuff on my counter. I doubt I got any film of me doing anything. So I'm half tempted to just take this film out of the bag and toss it. Yeah, it's not worth developing this. The only reason I would develop this would be to shoot another reel of me developing this, to try to redo what I failed to do here. But I don't think that's worth doing.
It's too bad because this saves me some of the beer now. But it's not worth drinking at this point because it's gone bad as a beer. I guess I could buy another roll of Tri-X at some point. Hopefully they've worked out their jamming issues. I'll have to follow up on that. Yeah, this is not worth developing. We're done. We're exposing it. We've just flashed the film. It's over. There was nothing worth developing on this. So that was a total waste of our time to try and salvage. Well, we didn't know. I thought it jammed when it stopped moving halfway in the film, but no, it jammed from the start. All right. Well, I'm just gonna. I want this reel back. I'm just gonna take the film off the reel here and toss it out. That's too bad. But so in that case, I think we can check on the film on the rack. See what we got there. We probably should give that some more time to dry. Man, this is I've been having lots of bad luck with the Super 8 lately. You know, it's the first few reels giving me good luck really gave me a false sense of security here. And now, I mean, well, I got a good reel of nephew's first birthday eating some cake. Although that came out with some blistering from the bleaching step, because I did a Kodachrome black and white reversal development on that. And I followed Adrian Cousins' peroxide-based bleach. He's since moved on to the dichromate, and I'm seriously considering that at this point, because the peroxide is very finicky to temperatures and will blister. But the roll I developed at the birthday was a newer roll that was less susceptible to the blistering, and it came out very viewable. Kind of black spotty, but my 79 expired Kodachrome comes out with all these black squigglies on them from the blistering. It looks awful. It's a look. It's an old-timey look. It's not bad, but when you're trying to get as good as you can get, it's not as satisfying. Although it is satisfying to get something viewable, so it's not completely unsatisfying. Anyways, tonight's stream has been, well, our stream and movie taking from the tripod was a failure. Complete failure. But our developing happened, and I know that the early part of that film came out with some very clear looking frames, so I think we got some good footage off of that reel that we did develop tonight. So at least the card I shot on location with family people came out with some stuff, but I took a lot of indoor low light stuff on there, and I don't know how that's going to look. So at this point we got to spool it up and put a leader on it and scan it in and invert it. And put our test strip at the end of it too. So I think what I'm going to do, because there's not much left to stream here, is I'm going to sign off, tend to the laundry, check if the film's looking dry, and do a little tidying up here. So
not saying how much.
Yeah, not every song's great on that tape. Anyways, thank you for tuning in, and you have a wonderful evening and a lovely weekend. And be sure to check out 5-Hit Dune on Twitch, because he's going to stream the 5-Hit tomorrow night, or tonight, since we're past midnight actually at this point, depending what time zone you're in. For him, it's tomorrow night because he's in Central, so it's only 11:25 for him. So, but anyways, he'll be doing the 5-Hit on Saturday nights, and then Sunday, 6 to 8 Eastern, over on the 5-Hit Dune Twitch channel. It's the Dune and Johnny show, and I'm sure I'll be talking more about the red beer that turned orange, and Dune will be scratching his nose every time I tease him for the way he says orange, and we'll be talking about my washer, and I'm sure we'll have more interesting things to talk about than that. So, thank you, and you have a good night.